Hello everybody and welcome back to Cone of Shark Week 2020. This is almost the final episode of this series for this year, however. Tomorrow is the finale, so be sure that you catch it because it's going to be probably, I think, the best one of this entire week. And I hope you feel the same way. But for today, we're going to be taking a look at a tier list that I set up to kind of rank some of the more common and a few of the uncommon but very unique species of sharks, at least in terms of how cool I think each of them are. Now, in no way is this list supposed to say that the sharks that I'm ranking in the order, that any of them mean any less than the others. All shark species are cool. These are just the ones that I think are the most well-known, I guess, and my personal favorites. So you might have a different idea of how you would list this, and I'll leave a link to this list that I made in the description so you can go ahead and fill it out for yourself and share it on my Discord or tag me on Instagram or on Twitter. You can actually see my Twitter on the bottom of the screen right now, and we can kind of just talk about what you guys picked compared to what I pick. But let's go ahead and start right off. I guess we'll start in alphabetical order. The first shark that I added in here, and I'm sorry that some of these kind of got cut off. It said to use the same aspect ratio, which I did for all of them, and then it cut them all off, so that kind of sucks. But the first shark we have is the angel shark. Now this shark is actually kind of weird looking. It looks a lot like a ray almost, and I really like rays, but they are similar to sharks but not the same species. But angel sharks are a shark, obviously. But I mean, they are cool. I would honestly have to say I give them around maybe a C, and I'll probably go through these at the very end and reorganize some of them depending on what I think. But, you know, angel sharks are cool, but they're definitely not my favorite shark. Next up we have the basking shark. This is one of the largest fish in the world. It filter feeds, as you can tell, because, you know, this is the shark pog shark, in case you've seen that meme. And it's opening its mouth that wide to suck in plankton and other small feeder type animals. For this one, I think I would actually put it towards a B. It's a very cool shark, and they're very, very, like, docile. They just sort of chill out, swim real slow. Next up, we have the black tip. Now, between the black tip and the white tip, which is also on this list, I think these are the two most dangerous sharks on the planet. Or at least the most prone to attacking humans, the most aggressive. I don't remember which is the most. I think it's the oceanic white tip. Correct me if I'm wrong. The black tip, I would have to put it probably around a C again as well. I mean, it's very cool, but as far as sharks go, it's kind of generic in my opinion. The blue shark, I would say probably a C as well. The bull shark. Now this bull shark is the same shark that I've been playing as in Maneater, although it doesn't have the weird tiger pattern that one gets, which I guess is apparently a DLC that you didn't have to buy, so kudos for that. The bull shark is very, very cool. I would definitely have to say it's an A, just because they're such a unique shark considering they can go between salt and freshwater. Next up is the cookie cutter shark. There were other pictures of this one. This was kind of just a side profile to kind of show what it looks like, because all the other ones are just zoomed in on its mouth, which it's freaky looking, because obviously it has the bottom teeth for doing the cutting of the flesh, which it kind of bites on and spins and cuts out like a plug. Very, very, very strange and freaky. I would have to say I think I'd put these in a B as well. They're very, very strange, and there's not a lot known about them because of where they live. Next up is the goblin shark, and these things just creep me out so much. They look so freaky. They are really unique, but especially after watching Goblin Slayer, I don't like goblins very much. They are freaky. But the goblin shark is very cool. I would have to rank it down low though, because I have trouble looking at pictures of them for too long. They're just so freaky. Next up is the frilled shark, and actually when I saw a picture of this earlier, I didn't even realize this thing was a shark. It looks a lot more like an eel, but it is actually a shark, and it's a very, very, very ancient species of shark. I believe it actually has around 300 teeth or something along that line, and it's just, it kind of falls in that same category as the goblin shark for me, though, where it is very freaky to look at. So I think I'll put that in the D for now. Next up is the great white, and this probably has to be my favorite shark. I gotta put that one at the top. The great white is just so cool. Like, when you think shark, that's the shark that you think of. I mean, maybe in different parts of the world, if there's more sharks around you, that's what you think of, but there's not a lot of sharks around where I live in New England. Great whites are actually around here. They actually killed someone in Maine. I believe it was sometime this year or last year, and their numbers are starting to come back, so it's actually starting to become a lot more dangerous to go in the water up here. But there's not a lot of other sharks in this area, so that's kind of the ones that at least the people in my area I think would think of the most, and most people around the world. But obviously, if you live in a more tropical climate, you might think of something like a bull shark or a reef shark. Next up is the Greenland shark. This is a very, very, very weird shark. Not a lot is known about them. They live very, very deep down, and they don't come up very often, so we don't see them very much. They've been featured on a couple shows aside from Shark Week, and they're very, very interesting. They live very long. I think ones that get caught are regularly hundreds of years old. So I'm gonna put that one up towards an A. I really like the Greenland shark. They're very strange, and I've always kind of thought they were interesting. Next up, we have the hammerhead, which is probably the most iconic looking shark, obviously, because when you see a hammerhead, you know it's a hammerhead. Other sharks, you could see a lineup of them and not be able to identify them, but the great white and the hammerhead are probably the two that you would be able to get just like that. And for that reason, I think I'm going to put the hammerhead up at the top of the list as well, because it's just such a unique looking shark. Up next, we have the lemon shark. I think I'll put the lemon shark kind of in the C category with the blue shark and the black tip, just because it's a very, very generic shark in terms of how it looks. It doesn't really have anything super unique about it, at least when you first look at them. Obviously, all these sharks, when you look at them more in depth, they're all very, very unique. The mako shark, I think I'll put in the same category. These are kind of, a lot of these sharks I don't know a ton about compared to the ones more up here, so that's part of the reason why they're listed so low. Next is the megamouth, which I think I'll put as an equivalent for the basking shark, because it is another filter feeding shark along with the whale shark and the basking shark. I think those are the only three. There might be more. Correct me if I'm wrong again. I'm not an expert on sharks. I just like them. Up next, we have the nurse shark. Now, nurse sharks are very, very docile, and I've seen quite a few of them in aquariums and stuff, and they're just a very, very calm shark. I believe that's part of where the name comes from. I could be wrong. I think I would put the nurse shark towards the A. I might move that one later, but they're very, very, very cool sharks. They kind of have these weird little tendrils on their nose that I think they use for sensing, because they bottom feed, I believe. Next up is the sand tiger. Very ugly. Probably one of the most terrifying looking sharks out of all the ones here. I mean, obviously, something like a great white is a lot bigger, so it's a lot scarier from size, and the goblin shark's just freaky, but you're very unlikely to see that. But a sand tiger, they have like hook-shaped teeth, and just their whole demeanor is just very creepy looking. I would put them probably in the B category, I think. Next up is the tiger shark, and I think I gotta put the tiger shark up at the top of the list as well. Tiger sharks are so cool looking with the pattern that they have along their body, as well as just how big they are. They're also an extremely dangerous shark. I think they're one of the other dangerous species to humans, but obviously any shark can be dangerous to a human if it decides that it wants to eat you. Next up is the whale shark. Now, I did actually see whale sharks once in my life in the aquarium in Atlanta, but it's been so long. I was so young when we were there, I don't even remember what it was like. However, I do have a stuffed whale shark, so I think for that reason I have to put it at the top of the list. Next up, we have the white-tipped shark, which I think I'll put in the B category because, like I said, I think the white-tip is the most deadly shark to humans. I believe they were the ones that were the cause of a lot of the shark attacks in the Pacific during World War II when ships went down. And last but not least, we have the zebra shark, which while I was making this list, I learned there was actually a zebra shark that was kept in captivity that they think actually reproduced asexually. So for the zebra shark, I think just for that fact, I'll put it towards an A. Although I don't know much about them, they look very cool, and that's a very interesting survival tool that they have to survive when there's potentially no ability for them to mate. So let's just take a quick look over my list and see if there's anything that I want to move around on it. So we've got in the top category the great white, the hammerhead, the tiger shark, and the whale shark. I think I'm going to keep all those there. Next we have the bull shark, Greenland shark, nurse shark, and the zebra shark in the A category, which I think, I think I'll leave those all there. I was considering moving the nurse shark down, but just because you can kind of see these sharks, they're very common in aquariums and stuff, so I feel like it's a shark that a lot of people can connect with. I think I'll leave that one there. Next up we have the basking shark, cookie cutter shark, megamouth, sand tiger, and white tip. I think I'll also leave those all there. Following in the C category, we have the angel shark, black tip, blue shark, lemon shark, and mako shark. I think I'm actually gonna move. No, I was gonna say I'd move the angel shark up and then move the white tip down, but I don't really know that much about the angel shark. I just wanted to make sure to add them to the list because they're such a unique type of shark. I think that locks in my tier list for these sharks. Finishing down at the creepiest looking ones, the goblin and the frilled shark. Just absolute nightmare makers, those two. So, do you agree with my tier list, or am I completely wrong? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to, go ahead and take a look at this list. I'll leave the link in the description to come and check it out. And you can fill it out for yourself. And like I said, send it to me over Discord, or follow me on either Instagram or Twitter and send them to me there, and we can just kind of compare and see what we have in common and what we disagreed on. I'll see you tomorrow for the finale of Cone of Shark Week 2020, and I hope that you enjoyed this video.